So when you're writing the IELTS essay, the most important part of the essay is what part? You're right, the introduction. But in the introduction, you've got to keep in mind that you need two things. One is a general statement. The other is a thesis statement. Why is that important? Because it shows that you're able to take a very large subject and narrow it down to its specific components. Again, taking a very large subject and narrowing it down to its specific components. That is how you use vocabulary, that is how you use grammar, that is how you make your ideas clear, and that is how you bring your ideas together. Okay? Let's take a look at an example here. It says, using a computer every day can have more negative than positive effects on your children. Now, a general statement is very broad. It's not specific. It's just a general statement. Again, we go from big to small. Let's take a look. There is no doubt that technology is becoming increasingly important in today's world. So notice the question is about computer having more positive and negative effects, but we begin with technology. Now, there are a number of different types of technologies, right? But we first want to begin with the idea of technology, because that is how we write a general statement. So a good strategy is to take one or two of these phrases, memorize them, and write them at the very beginning of your essay and plug in the topic that you want to discuss. So let's say, for example, I could say, there is no doubt that education is becoming increasingly important in today's world. We've got a general sentence now on education and technology, and all we've done is replace the topic words. Okay? That's a strategy you can use to help you. There is no doubt that technology is becoming increasingly important for the daily activities of young people in today's world. Now we're getting a little bit more specific, right? We go from technology to important for daily activities of young people in today's world. Both of those work because they signal that you're going to be discussing something in more depth. In this case, computers. There has been significant advancement in the field of technology over the last few years. All three of these are examples of writing a general statement. Remember, we don't want to get too in-depth yet. We don't want to go into too much detail. We just want the first sentence to be broad enough to give us room to discuss later. And the last sentence, there has been significant advancement in the fields where young adults use technology over the last few years. And this is how you write a general statement. Let's move on. That's very different from a thesis statement. Again, a thesis statement is the main idea that you want to elaborate on throughout your essay, but it's also in your introduction, as is the general statement. And this is how you begin to put together your ideas, and this is also how you build your word count. Remember, you have 250 words, you've got 40 minutes. So you need to be able to do that as quickly as possible, but in an organized way. Okay, let's take a look. We've got our first sentence, which is our general statement. There is no doubt that technology is becoming increasingly important in today's world. Done. There has been significant advancement in the field of technology over the last few years. Although, and now here's the thesis statement, although there are many advantages of using the computer on a daily basis, I believe that it has more disadvantages for children. Remember in the other video where we talked about using phrases for a thesis statement. I would argue, I believe that, in my opinion, etc., etc. Here's an example of using a thesis statement. And where is it? It's right behind the general statement. So when you've written these two sentences together, you've got your general statement that's very broad, but now you've got more specific content in your writing which says, I believe that. That's your thesis. But you've also got words like advantages and disadvantages. But here it says more disadvantages. So this would be an agree or disagree essay. And this is how you build your essay and build your word count. If you look at the bottom, it says, however, technology is beneficial for children. I agree that excessive use of the computer will be detrimental to their health. This is a rephrasing of your thesis statement in the beginning of the essay. So while you said in the thesis statement in the intro paragraph, you said, I believe it has more disadvantages for children, you are now saying in the conclusion, I agree that the excessive use of the computer will be detrimental to their health. Both of those are disagreement statements. And so you've rephrased one and put it at the bottom of the essay the same way that you've written it in another way at the beginning of the essay. And this is how you build your essay. We will talk more in the next video.